Hello, welcome to another live stream with me, Christian Rauchenwald, on this quite weird Friday, not just in terms of weather, but also in terms of other things. Before we jump into it, let's get the usual disclaimer out of the way first. Everything that I share in this live stream / video is my personal opinion, in no way financial or professional advice of any kind. You should always do your own research, consult certified professionals, draw your own conclusions, and make your own decisions, because after all, I'm just sharing what I'm doing. It doesn't have to be the right thing for you or make any sense to you. With that, let's actually jump straight into it. So yesterday we had two streams, actually, one during the day where we already expected GameStop to move up, and then one short one before market close. Before market close, we were still around the below the $50 mark, and we actually came to determine a target area around the $50 mark. And after hours, we went up towards $67.50, quite impressive. However, since then, GameStop announced their quarterly results, which they already pre-teased. So a couple of weeks ago, they already announced that they will be not as good as last time. But now they published them. And on top of that, they published another filing that we're going to check out. So first of all, as I said, they published their quarterly results, which are here. If you want, you can. I'm going to share them with you guys. So I'm actually going to, I'm going to share them. So GME earnings stuff, so you can check that out if you want. And then additionally, they also published another filing that allows them to technically sell up to 75 million more shares. Sorry for the scrolling noise. Oh, now broke my, there we go. So with a proposed maximum offering price per share of $22.70, which is interesting. It's a proposed thing, estimated solely for the purpose of calculating the registration fee, blah, blah, blah. So they can obviously sell it for more. So it's just an estimate. Will be determined from time to time in connection with blah, 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 blah. Yeah. So, and obviously, some of that is not, or hasn't been perceived very well by the market or by algorithms or whatever. But the obvious result is the earnings, I think, are not that much of an issue, because they already announced previously that they will, in quotes, be not that great. However, the announcement to sell 75 million more shares obviously adds supply, so dilutes the stock a little bit further, and therefore obviously drives the price a little bit down, which may be so it's a little bit of a conflicting situation now, because on one hand we have Deep Fucking Value, aka Roaring Kitty, aka I think it's Keith Gillen or so, with his June 21st call options for theoretically up to BTF0071, thanks for the sub. So with his theoretical 12 million shares, so 120,000 call contracts at a strike price of 20, and that if he starts to execute them, force people to buy the shares to deliver them to him, which again would drive up the price. On top of the 5 million shares that he already holds. Then we have all the people then we have 75 million shares directly registered and so on. So we have all of that on one hand. And on the other hand, we have GameStop announcing, I think they pre-announced their earnings this Friday instead of waiting till the 11th, so next Tuesday, simply to reduce the, in quotes, damage that negative earnings could have. But combined with the share offering of, okay, we might sell another 75 million shares, it actually might be that there might be some legal background to it, so I'm not 100% sure about that. That in order to publish and file one, they filed the other as well, or had to file the other as well. I have no idea if there's something to it or not. But maybe they wanted to make sure that they will be able to benefit from whatever journey up there is. Yeah, obviously the volume here is by far not enough to, so if we switch to an hourly chart for a second, then we can see that the volume here, so here we had 8.7 million shares traded, here another 9. So it's not enough to account for the 75 million shares. So that kind of like they filed it and already pulled it off. But yeah, so it's going to be quite interesting. There's going to be a live stream later. I have it scheduled, but I don't have the, I'm going to check 1 second, YouTube. There, that should be it. I'm going to check. Yeah, so in 2 hours actually. So Roaring Kitty live stream. So if at all, I'll only be online till then, and then I'll also watch that live stream. Gonna be curious. People have been speculating that maybe he'll execute his calls on the live stream. Maybe it's something else. It's really hard to say. I don't think he will execute the calls on the live stream or announce how he plans to do it or so, because while him sharing his opinion that he whatever likes the stock and sharing his position, that he has that position and so on, definitely is free speech. Going on a live stream and saying, okay, I'm gonna do this, which then expectedly would cause certain market movement, might legally be a little bit troublesome or more of an issue. So I don't think he exercised any yet. I don't think he will share when he will exercise them. So it's going to be fairly interesting, or I'm curious what he's going to share and how it's going to impact the stock price. Personally, I had $30 put options, as you might recall, where yesterday during the first stream, I actually mentioned that I will hold them till today to realize another, I don't know, like another $500 profit or so. But during yesterday and in the evening, I actually sold them and realized 90%. So got 1,800, basically paid 200 to buy them back. So I made an $1,800 profit on my $30 put options. And while some people might be frustrated or panicking if they just jumped into GameStop and obviously bought here and now we're here, so they enjoyed like almost 50% loss. Just in half a day or not even half the trading day. Personally, for me, it's going to be a good situation because I will be able to potentially sell more $30 puts for next week as an interesting premium. I already created my orders. I just have them at ridiculous prices so that they don't trigger automatically. And if they trigger at those prices, I'm more than happy with them. So there are a few things that I thought about and that I partially already did. First of all, you may notice there's a new put position that I opened that also expires on the 21st. And in that case, I thought about all the stuff, all the due diligence that I read and noticed that was about back then Archegos Capital that drove Credit Suisse into the ground, and UBS being forced to kind of like buy them or take them over. And the assumption is that whatever GameStop shorts Archegos held, basically Credit Suisse hold that back and UBS do UBS put. Yeah, so now our connection issues should be back. Are we back? Are we back? Yep, reconnected successfully. So I decided to put around $400, so 380 Swiss francs into UBS puts that expire on June 21st. Why June 21st? Because Roaring Kitty's call options also expired, and now he could roll them, but I could also roll that put option. Now, additionally to that, I would assume if somebody were to get margin called, that would cause then their positions to get liquidated, which means that they probably would hold things like Nvidia and other big stocks that then get liquidated, which means I would expect then a drop in some of the big stocks, which also means while I cannot afford and I don't want to risk thousands of dollars on Nvidia puts, for example, I can, however, afford to spend a little money on SPY puts. And there I'm currently torn between going for the June 10th, so that expire on at the end of Monday, or also going for the June 21st one. We're going to wait in 7 minutes. The market opens, then I will get the quotes for the current options pricing. So far, SPY is already, like shows that there are some signs of weakness, at least to me. So yeah, it's going to be, I mean, there was already a drop, but that was, that was actually yesterday. Yesterday we stayed out of the market, yeah. Looking at this, I think we might see another day down. And again, I think if GameStop would take off in quotes, then and it leads to the liquidation of some short seller, then I think SPY would also, as a result, drop. So therefore, instead of trying to play GameStop here too much in quotes, I mean, I have my couple of shares in ComputerShare, and we have the $100 call options that expire in June 21st. So in case it really rallies up, to benefit there. But on the other hand, I think that there would be downside in other areas. So that's why $400 puts on UBS. We can look at that. I mean, they're not going to make me rich or so, but if they, for example, drop to 20, yeah, same curve, yeah, then they would pay out 8,000. So that's a decent return. So obviously that means a 30% drop for UBS, but I mean, something like if they really would have, yeah, like to cover GameStop shorts that they may or may not have, yeah, then that's possible. If not, the $400 are a loss I can live with. And for SPY, we'll see. It depends which put options we go with, which again will depend on the pricing. So one hand on first, I thought, yeah, I mean, I think the GameStop or the Roaring Kitty stream, depending on what that brings in terms of information, might cause something. It also might cause nothing. It might also not happen. Just because a stream is scheduled doesn't mean that it will happen. So, and the other question is SPY puts just for today till Monday or to the 21st. And again, it question is then mostly about the price. So I wouldn't want to risk a lot on that. So because when you buy put options or you buy call options, you always have the risk that it doesn't happen and you lose the premium, so the money is gone. Whereas when you sell either covered calls or cash secured puts, yes, you get premium paid, and in quotes worst case, either you are forced to sell your shares that you have, which might mean you miss out on profit, or you are forced to buy shares, which might mean you have shares that are suddenly worth a little less or so. But buying, no matter if it's call options or put options, buying options always, for me personally, has more risk involved because there's the risk that I actually just lose the premium that I paid. Therefore, I don't want to risk too much. But the month has been good so far, or the 3 weeks since I switched to Interactive Broker have been quite decent. With what is it? 50% return. So risking a little bit of that on those plays, not a big issue. So if I say, okay, 400 on UBS and maybe another 600 or 500 on the SPY puts, then it's like 1,000 risks. So it's not too bad if I'm wrong. And if I'm right, then yeah, like then it pays off quite decently. On the other hand, on top of that, because GameStop is currently correcting, so again, 3 minutes, have to keep an eye on the clock so that we get in when the market opens. Because it's currently correcting, on one hand, if I'm not mistaken, that should increase the implied volatilities as soon as the market opens further, which increases the option premiums, which means I might be able to still get a couple hundred. I'm actually gonna make that more expensive right now, so a couple $100 for the $30 put options per piece. If I get 500 at least, which would translate, 600 would be amazing because that would translate to 20%. So basically it would mean like I have the commitment to buy $3,000 worth of GameStop if it drops below 30 by next Friday. And on the other hand, getting $600 would put my average already to 24. 500 would still be okay to take it because the break-even or average break-even price would be at 25. And since Roaring Kitty's break-even price is also around 25 for his call options that he bought in the money, it actually seems like not such a bad play. And I'm okay if I get the shares. So that's the other thing. So technically, instead of then getting 400 shares for 12,000, it would then be, for example, getting them for 10,000 or a little less. Yeah, we'll see how that turns out. Yeah, so I wonder, so curious if, yeah, like what are your thoughts? So like on my idea to have the UBS put. So basically, if GameStop goes up, UBS might blow up and therefore make money on that. And the idea on the SPY puts, so GameStop blows up, somebody gets liquidated, so their positions in whatever Nvidia, Facebook, Meta, Google, and so on get forcefully sold. So there are suddenly huge sell orders in those stocks, which then also drive SPY down. And yeah, so feel free to share that. We have now less than a minute left, so yeah, 50 seconds, 52. So just gonna wait for the market to open to then pick which of the options we're gonna go with. Just have to sort that better. So Okay, it does not sort that better. Then let's have it like this. So we have the June 21st in the middle, and I'm gonna move that over to the other screen for now so that I can keep a track on SPY. So to see if it's worth going for the 533 or the 32 one. Although if we go with the January 10, probably the 533, and yeah, let's do it like the 532 would be cheaper. So June, that one we can remove, and then we do it like this. Yeah, so and there the middle price would be okay. I'm not gonna pay. Oh, that's June 10th. Do you want to pay that much? Do we want to pay that much? Okay, let's start with those. Do we get prices for the GameStop options? Hello? Okay, there we go. So the $30 is at 3. GameStop currently, yeah, a little movement, but I don't know. I would say at 5, I take them. Ah, come on. If we get it, I mean, now it's moving slightly up, but if we go further down, I wonder if, oh, at the money right now, the premium would be around 800, 900. Yeah, so, but I don't want to get those. And here the premium would be around 300, 350, which is still 10% return. And the average would be around 27. So, tough choice. Do I want to 365? Gonna set that to 500 and either it happens or it doesn't. Now for SPY is now doing what? SPY is like, yeah, showing some resistance. So here we have what? Here that would be $200 and that would be another $400. I think we're gonna go with that. Yeah, so let's go mid price here, update, and then mid price here and update. So let's get those two. So then I'll drag that back, and then a second I'll just have to update or enter my trades. So in Theta Gang, so open trades, SPY, long put, expiration, one of them is the 10th, and the strike price is 533. Quantity 1, and it was filled for, that we actually see here, 1.898. And then SPY long put expiration for that one is the 21st, so it should be listed here. Yep. 532, and that one cost a little bit more for 78. Okay, so have those two, and other than that, that's just on the USBG one that I already entered. Yeah, so just checking my profile on Theta Gang. Long put, okay, long call, yeah, so okay, all of that is now entered. GameStop is already halted, so that went fast. And it's going, looks like this right now. Now for the pattern, I think what's possible is actually, okay, now that actually needs to be adjusted. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 potentially here. So 5 waves finished, especially with that big retracement. It doesn't guarantee to have to be, but it's possible that the whole thing here is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which would roughly fit now if we circle back a little bit. So get rid of some of the patterns. And we also hit the 100% target area for the 5th wave. So, which would then make or mean that we would expect a retracement based on this, which means we actually would expect some corrective pattern, and which would mean like a 3-wave pattern. So for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So I think that will, depending on how we move here, I think we might still see another drop. it's possible that the whole corrective pattern is already finished here. Yeah, so it's possible, but from the first glance, it looks more like we have 5 waves down. 1, 2, 3, 4, or yeah, 3, 4, and then 5. We also get very close to the 50% retracement, which would be a suitable turnaround point, and which would then mean we should expect, or in that case, we would expect A, B, C, and then we would expect another 5 waves down. Yeah, like, so it's going to be interesting to watch. If we would get another 5 waves down, I definitely would get to sell my, yeah, I'm going to still set that to, I'm going to actually set that to, let's say 300%. So, because if it were to play like this, then we would see it, we would see the price move down enough to bring up the premium for those $30 put options, which would then mean I would be able to get like 30% and actually my break-even price to 20, which is something I would be really happy about in that case. Yeah. So on the other hand, with my call options, I obviously hope that we're going up, but yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, also with selling the put options, I hope that we're going up, but to sell them and get a higher premium, we first would have to have a dip down. Yeah. Now, yeah, so we have still, so 6 p.m. So basically 2.5 hours until Roaring Kitty's live stream starts. So yeah, and already I set the first trading hold. Also, uptick rule is in effect today. Although we all know from experience it doesn't make such a huge difference. And where are my SPY puts? There and there. So I'm gonna let them run. We can look at the performance profile. So yeah, if depending on, yeah, I mean, obviously we're not gonna crash that bad, but yeah, so they have the potential to pay out a couple hundred to a couple thousand, this one and the one for the 21st. If we really were to take off with GameStop today and then see according a crash in SPY, then yeah, like that one actually, we'll see how they pay off and if they pay off. It's gonna be interesting to watch. So I think that's one of the reasons or one of the things I like about options. For example, time, so over time your option loses value, yeah, so theta decay. But on the other hand, I can at most lose the premium that I paid. So I don't have the risk that if I would short it directly, that during the weekend something happens and it gaps up too far to the top and suddenly I lose more. While I don't have a limit on the profit, so if it keeps falling within the time frame till expiration, then the profit would still be decent. So GameStop resumes and it starts to rally up, which means the $30 puts are getting cheaper now. Yeah. If you're wondering why I have the alert at 71, at roughly $71, one should be able to enter a sell order for $500 at computer share. Now I have a specific table that I'm not going to share, but basically from the shares that I have, I plan to basically sell them one, and so on at different levels. However, the thing is, in order, even if there would be something like a short squeeze, in order for the price to shoot up, there also would need to be limit orders at higher levels that get triggered, that then cause the candle to move up. And therefore, I have my table as to at which points I'm going to sell one share each to basically, if it happens, participate and help drive the price up to those areas. And when a certain new level is reached, I can then create the next limit order at a much higher level, and so on. Yeah, but that's, I mean, that's the theory if there is something like a huge short squeeze. Yeah, gonna be interesting to watch. I'm not sure how much movement we'll get today. I think it should be fairly volatile overall, considering the upcoming live stream and that earnings were announced and that they announced that they're gonna sell shares. sell more shares. It's also going to be great for the company, even if their their brick and mortar business isn't that profitable or profitable right now. Now they already have $2 billion in cash, and if they were to sell another 75 million shares, around, we can do the math, yeah. So 75 million, around $40, that would add another 3 billion to the balance sheet, so giving them 5 billions in cash, yeah, which makes it next to impossible for them to go bankrupt. So they could try a couple of different things to reposition the business. They really would have like a lot of different options then, yeah. It's gonna be interesting to see at what price point they actually sell those shares, how the live stream of Warren Kitty today, or aka Deep Fucking Value, affects the whole situation, what he's gonna share there, and yeah, that pretty much it. And it's gonna be interesting to see if and how right I am with my assumptions that, as said, SPY will drop based on that, and UBS will then also suffer the consequences. I think with UBS, I might be onto something in terms in general, because that looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which means that would need to be in some form A, B, C, which means, oh no, there we have a new high. Okay, scratch that. Unless it's a flat correction, then it would be 3 and not 5. Okay, yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C. Okay, then, okay. Yeah. There might be a new high before we go down. Question is if everything of that happens before the June 21st. Gonna remains to be seen. But yeah, like, I think it's worth a try or a play to see if it goes like this. Are we halted again, or no? What's now? Trading is halted, of course, yeah. At 44. Would be nice if there would also be an info about the halt in Motive Wave, but there isn't. So gonna check on the other end. Do I have my saved? Yeah, my June 21st $100 calls are still in profit at $500. Not gonna close them, so I bought them as a combi package, which actually wasn't that bad. So on one hand, I sold back then the $20 put, but basically the idea, okay, there are no prices, of course, yeah, but the idea is to sell, for example, the $42 put and get a couple $100 premium, and on the other hand, buy an out of the money call, so that you still make a net profit, so that basically the put you sold pays for the call. Although obviously that requires you to have the money to then buy 100 shares at whatever strike price you sold the put, if the price falls below it and it stays below it at the end of expiration, or if it falls below it and the person that bought the put exercises it. Yeah. Gonna see how that goes. So still halted, yeah. So yeah. Let's see if we get a takeoff today or not. From an Elliott Wave Theory perspective, as said, I think that looks like 5 waves down. Technically, it could be that it's already 1, 2, I don't know, 3, 4, 5. Then the ABC is somewhere here, but then that's way too short. So it's possible that that's already the entire correction, but from the look of it, I would. Let's see how it looks on 5 minutes. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's 5 waves down. So from an Elliott Wave perspective, you would expect A, B, C, which either is like this, and then we get a push down, which is just a stop along the journey. So it's not that we go down, but it's just that we have 5 waves up, then a corrective pattern, and then the next 5 waves up that then should make a new all-time, or not all-time high, but a new high compared to here. So interesting to watch, yeah. 1, 2, yeah. Here we have definitely 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then here we have 1, 2, 3. A, B, C, 4, and then that would need to be 5. And then here we have either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for wave A, then down, then up. So that ABC could turn out bigger here, or that could already be ABC, and then from here we go. It's nice. Difference to 2021, by the way. We had a couple of halts, obviously, back in 2021, so it's not my first rodeo with GameStop here. And my shares are actually held since then. But it's nice to see. Back then it was, we had halts, and then, yeah, I mean, not often, but reasonably often after the trading halt, it actually started dropping. Yeah. And I mean, a little bit, and then it went up again. And we can see here, however, we can see here, however, that we're gapping up. So, which makes it a little bit of pity for me that I did not sell those for the $350. But yeah, I don't necessarily need to make money on selling puts again, especially not at right now where it's like highly volatile. And the implied volatility is actually, oh, that's SPY, yeah, but on GameStop is actually insane. Even for today, I would assume. Yeah. Even here, the premiums are just ridiculous. Like even just for today, okay, I mean for the $30 put, not, but for the even the $35 put would still pay $155. And earlier it probably was more. At the money options, like $600, $700 for, it's insane. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Even the $128 call would still cost you like $80. So you pay $80 to only make profit if it goes above 128 today. Yeah. So that's just, I don't know, like insane. At least to me. Not saying that it cannot go there. I'm just saying like then you just better buy just shares, you know, like at the current rate. Yeah. So we'll see. Let's check that here. You know, if GameStop wouldn't have published the earnings and the announcement that they plan to sell additional shares, I actually would have expected things to take off today. So like a small correction, so market open and then go down, like touch the 38% retracement and then rally up. But with the earnings published and the announcement to publish more or to sell more shares, it's obviously, we're going to leave the chart here and I'm going to check Reddit for news on the other screen. Yeah, it's obviously harder to have any expectations. And then on top of that, there is the live stream coming in 2 hours from Roaring Kitty. That's just some nonsense. There's always so much unsubstantiated stuff, you know, like being shared. So GameStop announces that they will potentially sell 75 million shares, and instantly some guy makes a video that says GameStop has now 5 billion because they sold 75 million shares, yeah, and shares it on Reddit to get views. Like, yeah. It's interesting, by the way, before the announcement and the resulting drop, yeah, Roaring Kitty was around $2 away from being a billionaire. So, from by the estimates that I saw. Any other news there? Okay. People sharing from 8 hours ago that they bought more shares. I'm sure there are plenty that FOMO'd in. I saw one guy in the German community opening at one point, I think it was $1 million position or 1.5 million. And oh, there actually is like, so Gesamtwert, oh no, that's 150,000, sorry, that one. Yeah. And then they probably panicked. So if they bought here somewhere and then poop, I hope they didn't paper hand, but it's their decision. Let's see, what else do we have? That. Okay, nothing worth sharing. Just out of curiosity, if we put our usual extensions here, yeah, it doesn't hit the, or it doesn't bounce at the 2618 as we would usually expect. So, but on the other hand, if we put an expansion here for a wave C target, so for an ABC, yeah, then we also go way too high. So doesn't mean that it cannot be ABC, but just means that it doesn't, yeah, it doesn't turn around on the most probable point. Okay. Okay. Hope there's no audio. That's some interesting visual glitches. I'm always surprised that those glitches seem to happen only with GameStop if you watch the price. So it's really weird seeing $30 price jumps. Oops, didn't want to close Reddit here. Yeah, so open it up. We halted again. Now we're moving still. Yeah, so. Mm-hmm. If that would be A, B, C, by the way, then we would get rough profit targets, or what profit targets, but turnaround levels. Here, so we would expect maybe even 25. It would still fit because then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then basically, yeah, either the $30 area. So if that would indeed be, let's zoom out a little bit, let's say 30 minutes. Yeah. If that indeed is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we are right now, it's still possible that we're here within some kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here is still coming, yeah. But the moment we go below, yeah, I mean, then we're anywhere already below 30, yeah. So 1, 2, or 1, 2, 1, 2, yeah. I think so far we're still safe-ish, but if that turns into some A, B, C, then those would be the target areas to look for. Potentially, I think both of them make sense psychologically. So either we bounce on 30 and then go up again, or we bounce around 25 and go up again. Interesting enough, today is Friday, and today is, I'm going to look up maximum pain for today is, or was last I checked, 25 and is now at, oh, it's actually at 30. That's interesting. Yeah. So maximum pain for today is at 30. So a lot of people more bought call options, I guess, to push that up. Not that it matters, it's not very reliable, but here and there we finish the week plus minus a few percent from the maximum pain, which brings the most money to the people selling options because it means the most options expiring worthless. So, but that would be another point that would point towards the 30 area. So, and again, the 31.99 would be, if that is wave B. So if we have an A, B here, then that would be the minimum target based on experience, yeah, not guaranteed and so on, but probably minimum, or the probable minimum target for a wave C down. And then from here we could go up again. Which means at this point I might also get my $30 put options sold. Probably not for the 900, I have them set here. Although, do we already, is GameStop halted again? Like, are you shitting me? Like, are we doing anything today? Like, I still haven't gotten around to update or set up the orders to potentially exit the positions where I'm holding shares. So, I mean, not GameStop, but others. We'll have to, if I don't get to it today, I'll do it on Monday. So I can actually watch some more tutorials on how to set them up the way I want. So with certain conditions. Yeah, and let's go back to the chart. Maybe it starts moving again, and back to 15 minutes. So we see a little bit more. And then here I can update how my $100 calls doing. Still $400 in profit. Yeah. I'm torn. I paid $120 for those calls, and again, I did that as a bundle deal. So selling puts that paid for the calls and got me a profit from the selling the puts. But obviously, it's always like a tough choice to, especially if it's options, to say, okay, do I just sell them for 400 profit, or do I really believe that by the 21st we can shoot above 100? Or until the 21st, yeah. So since those options have a very specific profile. So the $100 call option, if we look at a 100% range, on expiration, it looks like this. We have to be at least above 100. Yeah. So to get $400 profit on the last day, we would actually need to trade at 106. Whereas if we look right now, even here we have $400 profit. And if we go to 90, it would already be a couple thousand. And as time progresses, the option loses in value because depending on the price, it becomes less likely to happen. And also, if the volatility decreases, it also has a negative effect. So there are a few things to consider. But on the other hand, I at most lose the $240 that I paid for those options. And again, technically, I paid for those options with the profit that I got from selling the puts at the same time. So yeah. Now we're moving again. Yeah, 1 minute is definitely too small, especially with the holds. Yeah, it's like slow chart watching, 2 hours till Roaring Kitty's live stream. Thanks to high EV, still options don't lose as much. Yes, but the volatility will not. Hi, Olga, by the way, or Steph. I think it was Steph. Yeah. But yeah, like, question is how long it stays that high. I mean, of course, as long as we have big movements, it will. But yeah, it's really tricky. As I shared before, if GameStop would not have announced the earnings and their new share offering, I think we would have just gone up the whole day because people would have jumped on the, oh my God, Roaring Kitty is doing a live stream hype. But with the earnings quarterly results and the share offering and not knowing what Roaring Kitty is going to share in the live stream, it's really, really hard to judge what's going on. But as I said, based on the patterns in front of us, this looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as an Elliott Wave pattern, which means we should get a correction. And while we bounced here at the 50%, if we look closer, even on the 50-minute chart, that looks more like 1, 2, 3, 4, or 3, 4, 5, then it does look like ABC. Therefore, that would only be wave A, potential wave B, and wave C in progress. Yeah. Maybe we really go to 30. I would honestly, I would hope. So honestly, I would hope that we go to 30, that we get an ABC pattern play out here, because it would just be an, in quotes, temporarily a corrective wave before we get the next wave up. So perfectly fine. And it would allow me to potentially earn another couple thousand from selling $30 puts. And if we stay below 30, I'll just grab up another 400 shares. So like, yeah, like, so I hope I'm right with my analysis. I know it would mean for other people that they panic in between because, oh my God, what's happening? We're dropping. Yeah. And yeah, you're right. So they needed to, I mentioned it earlier that I'm not sure about that. So about actually, where do I, let's put it here. Yeah. So about if it's legally required, but I also assumed that if they wanted to announce the share offering, that probably they had to announce their earnings. That's why they did it. Yeah, smartest thing to do. Halt it again. Yep, there we go. Like, it's gonna be an interesting day full of halts. Yeah, and so I also thought, I didn't know, but I also thought that it had legal reasons. I also like the idea that if they had the earnings scheduled for the 11th, then obviously if there are some, let's call it bad parties or so, that would short it on that day and are prepared or are preparing to short it on that day, announcing it a couple days earlier suddenly forces them to act when they might not be fully ready. And the share offering is obviously great because if GameStop is really as heavily shorted as many people believe, then yeah, like even selling those 75 million shares will not really make a huge dent in a short squeeze, but bring just so much money to GameStop that they really can do whatever they want, no risk of going bankrupt. Yeah, and even if they then start to invest it and become some Berkshire Hathaway kind of company. So yeah, super bullish and would bank them $5 billion. Depends on the price. Yeah, so obviously depends on the price. So if they sell it at 40, then yes. Yeah, so Yeah. So if it's I did the math earlier. So if they sell it at 40, then it would bring their total to 5 billion. But if we actually get in quotes like a squeeze and they sell it at, I don't know, 100 or higher, or a mix of it, they could easily end up with way more than that. So which even honestly, even with the 2 billion right now, I think almost the 2 billion almost, in quotes, almost, so the interest of 2 billion, if you invest them properly, could probably carry the entire business expenses at some point. So then even if you're not profitable, just your interest would pay for the business expenses and you can work on becoming profitable. In my opinion, everything is planned. I think RC and DFV, so Ryan Cohen and Deep Fucking Value are in on this. I'm not sure on that. SEC, market makers, there I'm not sure. I mean, you mean it from perspectives that basically the SEC is investigating short sellers or something, and in order to really expose them will blow up the market? I'm not sure if that would work. So I'm not sure if they're coordinating. So but it's a weird coincidence that Deep Fucking Value announces his live stream yesterday evening, and then basically today pre-market or during the night, then GameStop suddenly decides, oh, we're going to publish our earnings and the share offering. So there are some weird coincidences, because one thing is a temporary bearish, so oh my god, you're going to dilute more, and the earnings are not that good. So and the live stream of Warren Kitty / Deep Fucking Value is obviously bullish. So, and then there has been the climb up already before. So it's really hard to know, like, is it all just some coincidences, or is this some like coordinated thing? Either way, all we can do is lean back and watch. I have to say I'm super relaxed. I mean, I was part of the whole thing in 21 as well, and that was like, I mean, there it was also relaxing to watch it go up until the buy button got disabled. But this time around, it's just like whatever. Even if it would settle down again and we again end up with like sidewards and down movement for another year or two before we have the next step up on the ladder, I'm also fine with that. But like, remains to be seen how it goes, and how many holds we get to experience until that. Shouldn't so now we continue again, but shouldn't oh, my calls are losing money today. That's okay. Now where are we? Here. Shouldn't the holds be, they're percentage based? So like, if the stock moves that percentage in that time or not, so which shouldn't they be like, not, I mean, here okay, then here okay, but then not here again? Or maybe yes, like, I mean, doing math in my head is not that easy. Otherwise, GameStop would be suspended, etc. already. No, like, everyone is involved to settle this all, and to be fair, it's in everyone's best interest. I'm invested since September 2020 and can't wait to see this finally bear serious fruit. Well, that actually is nice. Wait, a squeeze was it 21 or 20? Like, so, or squeeze in quotes, So when did GameStop go up? Ah, yeah, 21. Yeah, so you got in for like $2 or $3, so something like that. That's a nice entry. I originally got in January. I think the first position's around $15 or so back then. So you actually, after the split, you got in below $1 per share. That's quite nice. So congratulations on that. So like, how would they say on Wall Street Bets? Fuck you and see you on Tuesday. Well, that's really a decent entry. Just like for Roaring Kitty as well, like getting all those call options. 9 to 11 euro. Was it already that high back then? Should be a little lower than that, yeah. So would have been nice to get in at this point. So I mean, obviously calling it in advance is always, or yeah, in hindsight is always 2020, but it would have been nice to get in back then. But yeah, better late than never. And yeah, it would be nice for the whole thing to, in quotes, resolve. But depending on how it resolves, it just still might take time to play out. Yeah, but even pre-split at 920 or so, still a great entry. Like, I mean, still an amazing return if you consider it over time. So yeah, then you made it even better. So if you sold at 260, 288, so you made it even better. Yeah, like no need to apologize, you know, or or admit it's like you actually took your profits and then got back in for even more, or to basically write it a second time. So nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, back then I don't know. Like I just got hyped too much to take the profits. Although it would have been the logical thing the moment they turn off the buy button, it would have been actually like so logical. Okay, take profits now and jump in later again. But yeah, didn't do it. But also don't mind. Overall, still made a lot of profit from my positions. Although it was paper profit for quite some time. At some point, however, I sold the shares that I had at eToro because those you couldn't directly register and so on. So at some point I sold those and only kept the shares that I had at Interactive Broker and that I then moved to Computer Share. So, and outside of the shares in Computer Share, I now hold, as we can see, one share that I bought yesterday or the day before for the to look into the album.com, what's behind the box, and the call options, and as said, the shares in Computer Share. Yeah. Sometimes it would be nice to have a remote, like in the movie, what's it called, Click or so. So to fast forward live, so I don't have to watch the chart develop, but I can just fast forward and I see the result. I mean, not like a time machine, like you see what's happening and then you can still act, but it just time passes faster. But I guess there's not much else to do other than watch the chart. Yeah, since we don't have big movements and anyway, just go from one trading hall to the other in both directions, I still believe that we will have an ABC play out here, minimum target again at 32. So potentially, I would say hitting the $30 mark. I think the confirmation for that would be the moment we go below what do we have here, $35 mark. Interesting that 35 exactly is the low here, yeah. But the moment we go below the 35 here, I would expect that this will play out as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then end somewhere here. It could go further again, like to the 25 area, but I think that we'll get our turnaround point here. Maybe we'll go a little bit below 30, so I can sell the put options for a couple thousand or like 2,700. No more, $3,600 premium. Maybe we don't. Maybe I'm wrong. We go up from here, so it's going to be interesting to watch. Either way, I'm going to have a very short break, so like be back in 5 minutes or so, but I'll leave the stream running and yeah, so see you in 5. Oh, looks like we are moving down a little bit. I wonder, I'm gonna check that on the other side. So if I go for cash secured puts, if I say June, I would get 600, yeah. So right now, and what do I have right now here? Those are for next Friday, so chart here. The other hand, if they shoot up, I cannot sell them again for the week after that. Let's see. Do we go with below 35? Sorry. I'm gonna check the chat real quick. No pre-split. So I must admit, no, nothing new. Okay. There we go. So I'm obviously there are never 100% certain things, but I'm fairly certain that what we're looking at is going to be ABC. So touching the area here. Might even go down until the live stream starts. So for another 1.5 hours, that would give us room to maybe go even further. So 30% return would already be good for a week. I mean, it's insane return for a week. So I think I'm gonna go with the weeklies, yeah. So because the return on selling them 1 week further out is not that much bigger, and then I can just next week adjust. Yeah. So question is, will I get what I want for them? So we still would have to move down a couple or a little bit, not just a little bit further, but some further. Yeah. So right now premiums are up there next week. Yeah. We actually would have to move below 30, so to 28 or so. So I would get them filled at 900 per option. Why do I have that many windows open? Yeah. Let's see. Let's see if that plays out like this. Like with the worst case scenario in my labeling would be if that is not wave A, but that's only 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But even then, we would get wave B and wave C down, but then just the down part would go a little longer. And considering that we're on a 15-minute chart, we should be back up easily next week again. So remains to be seen, but yeah, let's move that there. And where's the other one? There. Also move that there. We've had some quite accurate predictions this week in terms of the movement, especially in the upwards movement. So and the ones where I was wrong were the ones where we actually then went further than I anticipated. Like yesterday, I expected that we will go towards the 50 area in the after hours, and we went $15 further. Let's see how right I am with my labeling for the corrective wave here. I know, by the way, I know that it looks, I don't know, bad on 15 minutes, but if we zoom out, even on a 1 hour chart or so, it's already just the usual up, down, but with higher highs and higher lows. So just have to be patient now. Let's check. Yeah, 1 minute chart with all the holds, it's hard to detect anything on a low level chart, and on 5 minutes we already have relatively big movements. So let's see. So can I do something on the side other than store credit? Uh, I think the only people that might be happy about the movement today, I mean, really happy, would probably be the degenerates that made the proof or ban bets. Like if GameStop reaches $50, I'm not sure if the bet was reaches $50 or is above $50 on Friday. Reaches $50 obviously happened. I'm gonna shove a banana up my ass or some shit like that. There is one that says if we hit 69.69 today, I'll get GameStop tattooed across my balls. Yeah. Never understood why people would do that. Yeah. So again, hold it. Yeah. I don't understand why it's halted at this point then. So why not? So again, as far as I understand the rules for halting, it's like if a stock drops or rises a certain percentage in a certain amount of time, how is it not halted down here? But then when it moves up to here again, it suddenly gets halted again. That's also not even a huge multi-percentage move or so. So do we have an explanation other than trading volatility? Yeah, like where's the volatility? Like I think they're issuing shares. And we have quite some volume here. Yeah, I mean here 12 million, 10 million, 11 million, 11 million. Yeah, so possible that they already are throwing them out today. So we would get another, what, like 3-4 candles with like 10 million plus volume. Would be nice if basically their Monday announcement is already and we're done. So like stock price didn't tank in quotes substantially while we sold 75 million shares. And at that price level, it would add, what did we say, at 40, it would be $3 billion that they add, so wouldn't be bad. Discord, there you go. Chart gazing, yeah. Yeah, that's actually quite interesting, or not interesting, but even now, I think now it would be $6 or not. So for the 2 billion in capital that they have, so, and that's then not considering the value of the brand itself or inventory and future earnings potential and a million other things. So yeah, I think like that's one option, but very often if you buy a company, it's either because you want their knowledge, but more often than not, you want to buy their user base. So, and not sure if GameStop would have a benefit in buying. Yeah, like I mean, either way, like either they buy something, so basically buy some other company that they don't have to build something from scratch, or they just use the money to come up with whatever business, uh, with whatever business idea in quotes that they think fits to GameStop in some way, or that they can easily transition to and just build it themselves. Yeah. No, I'm not saying that they don't have a user base, but the point is like, so at least in the fields that I'm usually yeah, like working in, let's say it like this, you would buy another company just to get their user base, so that you have, yeah, you don't buy them because you cannot build what they already offer, but you buy them so you can just buy their user base, because then you can, to that user base, market the products that you're already offering as well, and increase your revenue that way. Yeah. I didn't know that the Funko Pops is actually a publicly traded company. Yeah. NEC is the computer store, not like, so hardware. Yeah, Newegg. Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, so they have 2.38 billion in revenue, or at least it was for 21. Market cap. What they own? GameStop could have already bought them. Their market cap shows as 385 million. And it looks like they're not doing that well. Stock price super low. So, but they also have stores or not. Newegg also is. I'm not sure if they're e-commerce or not. So I'm really not. Uh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. I think there wouldn't be much point in buying Newegg. So if they have physical stores, then it doesn't help much, because you just add more brick and mortar. So like more dying businesses in quotes. And for the e-commerce part, GameStop can do that on their own. So just get new suppliers for specific hardware and integrate it either in their own online store, or spin up a new online store that doesn't isn't attached to, in quotes, gaming. Uh, buying like things like IMMR, that was, no, what was that? Immersion? No, yeah, immersion, yeah. So for the controllers, that would make sense, yeah. So this way, instead of buying the product from another company that then makes profit, and their market cap is also super low, so 320 million. So something like that would make sense, but buying another, like something like Newegg, I think doesn't make sense. So would be easier and cheaper to just, as said, either spend money on marketing or get further or new suppliers for specific products that Newegg might offer that GameStop currently doesn't, or launch a new online store, a new brand that's more, again, that doesn't have the gaming touch. So from GameStop, yeah. But yeah, like buying up some of your suppliers that can produce specific products that have a decent profit margin, so you actually, yeah, like profit more. That definitely would make sense, yeah. NEC has services too. Okay. I saw that there is a NEC security services thing, yeah. So, but then with the services, the question would also be, whatever services that are, okay, Newegg is just e-commerce, yeah, then there's definitely, I don't see a point in buying it then, because other than for the customer base, so that you get the customer base already. So you kind of like, you pay, in that case, what, like 400 million, and that's the current market cap. So to buy the whole thing, and you don't have to grow your customer base in those specific fields yourself, but for just for whatever doesn't, yeah, infrastructure, yeah, but you can just like someone buying up Zalando, yeah, but it's also different because with Zalando, at least in Germany, it's the #1 fashion store, and Zalando burned through countless millions in cash during their first, I don't know, like years or even decade. I haven't been following them too much, but just to burn through cash on purpose to eliminate the competition. So offer free shipping, spend money on expensive TV ads and so on, to just grow the customer base. So they are now, in quotes, the #1 fashion store, at least in Germany and probably some other European countries. So buying that is cheaper than trying to grow in that area yourself. So especially because in e-commerce, when you're selling fashion, you have, if you run a good store, you have or let's say it like this, a low return rate would be around or slightly below 30%. So 1 out of 3 packages gets shipped back to you, which costs you, worst case, the return shipping that you have to pay, plus the labor of unpacking the return package, checking it, and putting it in your warehouse again. So like growing a new brand in the fashion industry, in e-commerce, you would need way more money than probably just, in quotes, buying up an existing business that's already established and has a customer base. But I don't know, as far as e-commerce go, especially if it's like, even if there are services involved, it would be cheaper to just build it yourself. So, and with the kind of cash GameStop has, they can hire the talent required to do it. So it's kind of like the same with what they try to do with the NFT marketplace and their wallet. They probably could also looked for an existing marketplace to just buy, but just hiring the talent and developing it themselves made more sense, or was the cheaper play here. So in my opinion, there's only 2 reasons why you would buy another business. So the one reason would be, or maybe more than 2, but one would be, you want to have their customer base. So because they have whatever, like how many thousands, millions of clients that you can then market your other products and services to as well. And buying that business is cheaper for you, especially in the long term, than trying to run marketing and campaigns to reach the same people. And That would be one. The other one would be, the next thing would be patents. So if the company that you buy owns some patents that also would benefit your existing company or other companies that you invested in or whatever. And then, yeah, buying your suppliers. So basically, instead of consistently overpaying for services and goods that you need because your supplier also wants to make a profit, just buying them and ensuring that you get your products even cheaper, and by buying them, basically increasing your own profit margin. So those would be the main reasons that I see for buying. Yeah, I was in wholesale for 12 years, also been working with GameStop during those years. For example, we do fulfillment for auto because they couldn't do it, gaming category. Yeah, like, yeah, but so that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, I don't know the specific services that Newegg is offering. Maybe there is something that makes it worth to buy them, but I think that it wouldn't be. In most cases, I think, especially if it just is e-commerce and a few services, then with a couple billions in cash, you have an easier and probably cheaper time hiring the talent, building it yourself. Unless Newegg has a completely different client base. So you say you buy them, so you also already buy the client base. Yeah. But everything else you can kind of figure out on your own or develop on your own. So yeah. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, one thing is fairly certain. I doubt that they will just sit on the cash for a couple of years. Wouldn't make too much sense. Yeah, but who knows? We'll see. Looks like my SPY puts were not such a great idea for now. Thank you. So SPY is going up. Wonder if I want to double down on those then later. Not sure. Oh, anyway, they are running till, what do we have? One till the 10th. So today's the 7th. So till Monday evening. Okay, that one might be a loss, but the other one is till the 21st. So we'll see how that ends. It's gonna be my first, or not my first red. Yeah, probably my first red day. So in this portfolio, unless GameStop turns around, but again, I expect it to play out like this and then go up. Would be nice to know what goes on in Ryan Cohen's head, and obviously what the plans are. Like, just for example, I mean, having basically would be nice to have insider information of any kind. Like, if you would know, okay, they're gonna drop earnings and the share announcement, would have been so easy to make a fortune. Or knowing their long-term plan already, yeah, because they for sure have one, and we can only guess at what it is. So if we'd already know, if somebody would already have that information, obviously it would be insider trading. I get that, yeah. But yeah, one can dream. One can dream. So we have another 1 hour 15 minutes until Roaring Kitty is scheduled to go live. I think the worst thing that could happen today to the stock would be if he doesn't show up for the live stream. So it's kind of like scheduled and then doesn't show up. Not that I think it will happen, but I'm saying like that I think would be the worst thing that could develop, or could, yeah, how it could develop. How are we doing here? How would it be if we have a bigger retracement here? So not that I want to see it, but $32 to $26. Okay. Oops. And yeah, the waiting continues. It's kind of embarrassing that we live in a time where we have the internet and all of that, and everything can be connected in some way, and we don't have accurate real-time short reporting, for example, like that you really have to speculate, are there still short position opens from 2020 or earlier, and so on. So it's really a pity that there is just, I don't know, like no transparency or not enough transparency. Would be so much easier if there would be an official number or so, like really official and transparent number, maybe even if it's delayed, even if it's with a week delay or so, that it gets reported to protect short sellers. Yeah. But really having an accurate number, and not like it is the way it is right now, like banks or market makers or funds like just fail to report or misreport or mislabel their transactions and do that for a decade and then get slapped with a $200,000 fine or so, that in comparison to the profits they made is just ridiculous. But well, let's put it like that. It would be nice if the fines, so even if we don't have some kind of real-time or actually transparent reporting, but it would be nice if the fines that companies pay when they make mistakes to an extent that cannot be considered just a mistake anymore, that the fine would actually be whatever, like twice the profit they made from that mistake. So that it's not like, okay, we make a million or 100 million profit and we know the fine will only be 500,000, so who cares? Yeah. But I guess that's just wishful thinking. So, but yeah, like that, it would be nice at least. So, bum, bum. So what else is there new? God. Oh, I did not see that coming now, did I? What do I have? Interesting, interesting. I have to bring more structure into my trading flows, so to kind of like remind myself when to look at something again and so on. I think there are also options for some power. That's not relevant anymore. There we also have 5 waves. 1, 2, 3. Oh no, there we go. No, actually, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here we would have 1, 2. If that's only wave 3 and wave 4, we would expect. Yeah, questions where 3 starts probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 here. Yeah. So still like potentially 100 something percent upside here. Yeah, but yeah, can't play everything. And here now things slowed down. We're at a 15-minute chart, and so 7 million volume, and here almost no volume. They might have actually really sold not their full amount, but some of the shares already. So because the volume here is obviously insane. I mean, that's the market open, I get that, yeah. But in comparison, although we have 9 minutes left, but we see the drop in volume, so the decline in volume. Uh, okay. Today I learned that until 2003, the French military provided mobile brothels to troops on the front line of world wars, among other conflicts. Well, every day is something new. Dun, dun, dun. Somebody is guessing GameStop will announce completion of ATM, so at the market offering after hours, and Monday will open at 80. Like that, we would need more volume. Or they already, I don't know. I mean, if they announced it, they still, I mean, they have to report it and announce it before they can perform it. So it's not that they could have already done that. And especially if they sold 75 million shares, I doubt that that would be the normal development. So yeah, holds. Actually, now I'm gonna check. So NASDAQ. How many do we have already? GME 6. Are they all from today or? Yeah, all from today. 6 holds. Limit up, limit down. Hold so far. Hmm. How's the option price going for the tempting? My calls are bleeding today, of course. Yeah. Where are they? June? No, they are long. No, wait, where? Okay, let's close this. Oh, I forgot. I also have to add the trades. So what do we have? So we bought the SPY puts. Yeah. So build long put buy, and we have one for the 10th at 533. Yeah, not going very well right now, but yeah, we paid 533, 189.8. Take trade, and then another SPY put for the 21st. There we have the 532, and we paid also too much. 478. Save that trade, and then the UBS one I cannot watch on option strat because it's not US. So now save trades. So I have my SPY puts that are both at a loss right now. The GameStop calls are still in the money, or are still profitable, not in the money because they are at 100 strike price. And then with the shares, they don't matter there. SPY puts. And we don't have any puts sold on GameStop right now because that we closed, and at here I already added them, so that's fine. Okay, so there we go. Okay, moving down further. So question is, will we just go here? It's so tricky because even on the 5-minute chart, I mean, here we could see an ABC, yeah, but do we already have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or will that be 1, 2? Here we also have a small movement up, but I don't think it's enough for, yeah. So with the holds, it's harder to get any readable patterns, at least for me. And question is, will we go there? So right now, medium would be 492, 485. So I don't want to settle for that. Although it would also be what, $30 puts, so it would still be 15% return for a week. And but I think we'll go further down, and I'll be able to get more for those puts. Oh, it's also interesting if we obviously if today, I mean, of course, the stream that starts in an hour will make a difference. But if today we don't go up again, then it makes obviously a huge interest with today's option chain. I mean, if we consider that earlier we were at 60, so everybody that bought call options in that range to 60, for example, was in the money, and that would have been like a lot of potential shares for the options that get executed. Whereas now with the price down, that means less shares that get executed, yeah, or less options that get executed for shares. While on the other hand, people that bought put options, so that were betting against GameStop, yeah, will actually be more of them in profit. That's pity. Yeah. But again, that's one of the reasons why I prefer actually to sell put options and make premium this way, and or combinations of puts and calls. So selling the put to make some money and have it pay for the call option. But yeah, I mean, the day is not over yet. There's still movement to come, and if we finish wave C, and if my assumption is right that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, and now again 1, 2 somewhere here, 3, 4, 5. So if we finish here, and then yeah, Roaring Kitty live stream starts, people get hyped or whatever other reason happens, and we start the movement of the next wave, we wouldn't or shouldn't make it above 60 or 70 again, but we should at least climb up further again and bring more money or more options into the money again. Yeah? Gonna be interesting. So I wonder, Alex. So last week I sold the $30 put options for $505 premium, and I bought them back for $50. So 450 per contract profit. Could already do the same now. So I would already get actually more than I got last week. But question is, I probably should trust my in quotes labeling, and that says likely we'll touch the 30 mark. And if we touch the 30 mark, I should get, yeah, like 50% more at least. And if we go below 30, and I would have the patience for that, then I might even get my 30%. So it's interesting. I mean, I honestly would expect today to be yeah, like an incredible journey in quotes, because even the German media already is covering GameStop, and from what I saw from some other posts, it was also mentioned in the TV news on some channel. So there should be a lot of uneducated potatoes that jump in without doing research. Not that that's bad. I mean, it would be bad if they jumped in without research here and then are panicking. Oh my God, yeah. I was out for coffee with my wife today after shopping, and before I learned that, or before GameStop even announced their earnings and the share offering and so on, and I was talking with her and I was asking her, like, I wonder if I should tell a friend of mine who runs a software business and is actually already a millionaire. if I should tell him to just gamble 10,000 in GameStop, which, yeah, like right now it might even be make more sense to tell him that. But on the other hand, like it's his finances, so it's kind of like whenever you give a friend financial advice in quotes or share what, like, hey, I'm in that, take a look at it. If it plays well, there's not always a thank you for letting me know, but if it goes south, suddenly it's your fault, yeah. So yeah. Anyway, so that's why this stream is not financial advice and just my personal opinion. So now we touched the first profit target almost, so it's at 31.99. We, yeah, like still have a little bit to go here. Can we see more? No, we don't see really anything. It could be that this is ABC 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, like there should be still a little bit room down. So I might be completely wrong. Yeah, company might go. I mean, the company might not go bankrupt, but the stock might drop. How greedy do I want to be with those options? Could sell one right now. I could also play it safer and just sell the $25 option. So now right now I have 13,600 in cash minus those, so 13,000 is around $14,000. So I could sell 5 of those and get, yeah, that's 10% return right now, so not that great. But on the other hand, GameStop would have to fall below 22.50 for them to trigger. And on the other hand, I'm also fine of getting the shares at 30. So many choices. Yeah, I think, as I said, I think we'll still have a little room down here. So, but I probably will not get 900 for each option. Somebody that pays $900 theoretically for a $30 put option could as well just, instead of betting 100 shares in quotes that it will go down, just short 30 shares, although there he would have the unlimited upside risk and just instead of just the premium. Yeah, so bum, bum. That's an interesting, public service announcement. Stop losses off. Yeah, obviously people that set their trailing stop loss or regular stop loss. I think a lot of people might have had a nasty surprise here today with the movement, but yeah, we'll see how it turns out. Uh, I would like to thank the board for allowing me to buy again at 40 before the MOAs. Yeah, that is all. Yeah, dinner is here, so I'm gonna have a dinner break. Gonna keep the stream running, and then anyway, it's only 50 minutes to go. Then Roaring Kitty should come online. Thank you. Gonna have Döner for a change. So there is a Döner shop in our street that's really delicious, and here and there it's like just such a nice change from regular food. Uh, yeah, so Would I regret it if it moves up from here and I'm not able to sell my puts? Probably not, because then my calls get into more money. So yeah, so I'm gonna leave my order like this. If that triggers, I'm more than happy. We are halted again, of course we are. Yeah, so I'm more than happy to to SPY moving against me. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm just gonna leave things as they are, and I said short dinner break, dinner break. Be right back. And then see you all in view. Chart is visible. Yeah, so Back again and now full and would like to rest. Yeah. I see we bounced. Looks like it's pity for me. So obviously, in German we would say, man soll den Tag nicht vor dem Abend loben. So you shouldn't praise the day before the night arrives or before it's over. But from the look of it, that might be our ABC, and I was not able to sell my puts, which is okay. And with that, it's possible that from here we now get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and go up again. Although until market close, unless we have some super crazy moves, I don't think that we'll get up here again. But then with aftermarket and then pre-market on Monday, we may be higher again. So what else is possible? It's possible that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and although it wouldn't fit very well because no, actually it would. So we also would have reached, if that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then we would get A, B, C, and then we would get the move down. But that, yeah, like I'm not saying it's less likely. It's just I don't think that that's the case. Yeah, it's just my personal opinion as usual, and so possible that from here we now are moving up as like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, blah blah blah. So then there would be stronger movement soonish, and yeah, let's see how it goes. So just gonna have to keep an eye on it. And then what else do we have? Yeah, not much else actually. So there is 20 minutes left until the Roaring Kitty live stream. I already shared the link, but here I'm gonna share it again. Should be that one. Just double checking. Yes. So I'm gonna jump into that stream then, and it's not my own, so I don't think there is any need for me to do some live commentary or so. So gonna be interesting to see what goes on in that stream. And yeah, and until then, we're just gonna continue our chart gazing, I guess. And I'm gonna keep checking Reddit for important updates worth sharing. Hmm. Interesting that during the last 44 years, the Standard & Poor's 500 hasn't topped a single time in June. So since 1980, not a single top in June. Mm-hmm. There's going to be a short seller that's going to go live on CNBC to analyze the Roaring Kitty live stream. You got to be kidding me, yeah? Oh, Andrew left. Oh my God, that clown really? Oh my God, no, seriously. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that Andrew left is just such a tool. Like, I mean, he lost money. Like, what bothers me the most, from what I understand, he's basically alone. But every time he posts, he talks like, we are going to explain this. We know this better. Yeah. So, as if he would run some huge corporation with I don't know how many people. And then that condescending tweet, like, 84 years ago, like, we understand short interest better. We will go live shortly and explain it to you, just to then lose 100% and then go short again in May and have the run up in May, so lose money there, and then after the drop we had from 80 down to 20 again, then announced that he went short again, and see the run up now to 60, and even with the drop now down, yeah, like, doesn't matter, like, just it's complete moron, yeah, like, I mean, back then, betting against GameStop, okay, go for it. But now, after years of seeing how many people are believing in the company and just will not sell and just buy more, how dumb do you have to be to short it again? Like, it's just light your money on fire, get it done in private, yeah. Um, but yeah, like, then trying to gain some relevance by jumping on every possible TV channel that will have him, it's just ridiculous. Yeah, so you can whine a little bit about how unfair the world is and so on. Yeah, and make random accusations. I mean, that's his latest thing to say. I'm not sure, but I believe that there is somebody behind Roaring Kitty that funds the whole thing. It's impossible because, I mean, Andrew Left has been losing money, so it's impossible to think that Roaring Kitty has made money the last couple of years to actually fund his own positions. Yeah, it's like such a clown, that moron. Yeah, in my opinion, of course. Yeah. 14 minutes to go. Nvidia is now worth $102 million per employee. But that post is from yesterday, so today they dropped a little, yeah, so 1.5%. What? What is it? Huh? For 2.0, the pricing or what you get? Yes, you have to make new videos. Yeah. Yeah, that's the other side of the affiliate marketing coin. So where are we going? It's a little bit annoying that every time there's a trading halt, there are just so many posts about that it's being halted. But yeah, what can you do about that? And there's so much nonsense like that here. Like, I mean, seriously, it's yeah, just ridiculous. Like, if a market maker pulls some underhanded shit or so, nobody cares. But if an individual investor suddenly makes a huge profit, then it's a problem. Yeah. Change this to latest or new. There's 140,000 people watching for waiting for the live stream. So 180,000. And the chat looks like this. It's impossible to read that chat. Like even in slow mode, where each user can send a message every 2 minutes, it would be impossible. Like, it's insane, yeah? 181,000 people waiting. And every one of those buys 10 shares today. And there we go. Six more minutes to go. $196,000 people waiting. Even on Bloomberg, they are Bloomberg, they are talking about the stream. I don't know why they would do that, because like it's one thing to try to blame everything on retail and so on, but it's a completely another thing to point out, okay, this is the guy that will have a live stream, so that literally gives him more viewers. So I don't understand why they would do that. 218,000 people waiting. Okay, that's gonna be an interesting stream. Should do a Q&A, like everybody gets to ask one question. Because the stream starts only in 4 minutes. How cool is that? Why does it not remember? Okay. Well, okay, 1 minute 40 seconds to go, 270,000 people waiting for the live stream. So again, last time, here's the link if you want to check it out. With that, I'm gonna go offline and jump into the weekend. And I'm also gonna watch the stream, and then yeah, we'll see each other potentially next week on Monday, although it's possible that I'm not at home on Monday. So then it would be on Tuesday next time. So yeah, everyone enjoy the weekend and see you all till then. Yeah, bye-bye. Close that, and there we go.